Welcome back, math friends. Today we're looking at lesson 3.8.5. This is the second half of lesson 8 from chapter 3. Lesson 3.8.5. And we are going to be looking at percents today. Now, percents can be used to model and solve real-world problems. And you're going to apply percents and use your equation solving skills to solve problems dealing with percents. So what is a percent? Well, a percent is defined as part of 100. You're going to want to write that down. It is a ratio to describe the part compared to the whole. The part compared to the whole. And it can be written as a fraction, a decimal, or with the percent symbol. For example, a percent could be 13 out of 100. That's in fractional form. As a decimal, that would be 0.13. Because remember, with percents, it's out of 100, so we would have two places after the decimal. Or with the percent symbol, 13%. Those all mean the exact same thing. Now, this table below shows the data that is collected from a survey of teen dating. All right. Now, so we're looking at 12 to 14-year-olds. There were 1,074 students surveyed. 216 of them are dating. 15 to 17-year-olds, 992 of those students were surveyed. 482 of those are dating. The 18, 19-year-olds, only 307 of them were surveyed, but of those, 205 were dating. So the question asks, what percent of the 15 to 17-year-olds said they are dating? 15 to 17-year-olds, okay, so that's the 15 to 17-year-olds. The number of students that were surveyed was 992. So that's the whole, that's all of them that were surveyed. And the portion of them that are dating, that's the part, 482. So now, notice that it's in fraction form, and as I've said before, fractions are just sort of they're a division problem. So this would be 482 divided by 992. And I'm going to use my calculator to divide 482 divided by 992. And that gives me a decimal of 0.485887 and so on. Okay, now that's a nice decimal, but that doesn't really help us much as far as the percent. So what I'm going to do is, because I know that this is percent is out of 100, I'm going to look to the number that's in the hundredths place, and that's the 8. I'm going to ask the 5 next to it, hey, do I round up, round down, whatever. And the 5 says to the 8, you need to round up to 49. So I'm going to go, okay, so this will be 0.49. Now, because it's 0.49, that's 49 hundredths. That means that that's going to be 49 out of 100, right? Which is also 49%. So 0.49 after the division, divide the part by the whole. Part divided by the whole will give you a decimal. 2 places after the decimal is hundredths. Round it if necessary. 49 out of 100, 49%. Okay? Now, let's take a look at a different kind of problem. The circle graph shows the percent of glass containers recycled in the United States last year. About 32 million tons of glass containers were recycled. We can use the information from the graph to figure out how many tons of glass were used in total last year. Okay, so here's how we do this. Now, if we take a look at what is our part, what is our whole, and everything, we can sort this out. It says 32 million tons of glass containers were recycled. So we know that, according to the graph, 29% were recycled. So 29%, so that's 29 out of 100, were recycled. And that 29% is 32 million. Now I'm not going to write 32 million, I'll just write 32. And what we're looking for is how many tons of glass containers were used. So that's the ones that were recycled and not recycled combined. So we're looking for the whole number here. We know the percent, but we're trying to find what is the whole that 32 million is the part of. Now, one of the ways we can do this, and this is kind of a shortcut, is that if I flip both of these fractions and turn them into their reciprocals, so I make this x over 32 equals 100 over 29, the proportion is still the same, but it does make it slightly easier to solve. Because now, if I want to find out what x is, remember we're trying to find out what x is, if we, because x is being divided by 32, if we multiply both sides by 32, these 32's over here cancel each other out, and I have x now by itself. But what is 100 times 32? Well, that's pretty simple. That's 3200 over 29, because we're multiplying straight across. 32 times 100, 29 times 1. Okay. Now, if I take 3200 and I divide that by 29, that will give me the number I'm looking for. And my calculator says that it's 110.344 and a whole bunch more. Okay? Now I'm going to just round this to the nearest tenth. Okay? So x is equal to, what do we do here? Well, the tenth. If I round that 3, you know what? I'm just going to round it to the nearest whole percent. So I'm looking the 0. The 0 looks to the 3. 3, what do I do? 3 says you're just going to stay the same. So it's about 110, remember that's million tons of material, glass material that were used in total last year. And we can check our answer there to make sure that it's right, because if I take the part, which was 32, and put that over 110, 32 divided by 110, that equals, on my calculator, 0.299090, and so that would round to 0.29, which is 29%, because 0.29 is 29 hundredths. So we figured that out using math. Amazing stuff, right? And that's all there is to what we're going to be doing with percents. We can use percents for all kinds of things. So here is your assignment for today that goes with this lesson. 3.8.5 practice. You can pause the video and copy this down, or you can find the assignment, the practice work, on the slide where you found this video. Have a great day. Don't forget to be awesome. Remember, percent is just part compared to a whole.